In this fourth episode of Kit Room, I'm going to talk about the extra equipment that I take out into the field when I'm going on longer journeys, so several days worth. Now I'm actually heading out to the Cairngorms tomorrow as a bit of a rush trip, and so I'm getting all this equipment together and heading out tomorrow. Now I've obviously got my main camera bag, and this houses the Red Komodo X camera rig. Now in episode 1 I discuss how I build up that rig, and then in episode 2 I discuss everything else that is in my main camera bag, and so please check out those episodes if you're interested in that. Now in episode 3 I talk about the sound equipment that I take out, and that's all in this bag here. Now I have two identical bags, and the reason for that, if my main camera bag suffers damage and I'm not able to use it, then I can simply swap out the gear into the other bag and off I go again. So as I say, I'm not going to go through all the equipment that's actually in there because I've covered those in previous episodes. So I'm now going to move on to what I call my grab bag. Okay, before I get into what's in the contents of the grab bag, I'm just going to go over something that I've learned over many years, and that is to make a list of all the equipment that you're going to be taking on a journey. And the way I've set this up is I've got it on my computer as an Excel spreadsheet, and so I'm able to amend it at will, and I simply print it out before each journey and then go through it. And I'll just describe how I've set this up, and it's as I say, it's taken many years to arrive at this, and but I've finally got the version that really works well for me. Now it's split into 4 columns. So the first column I've listed every single item, camera equipment, personal things, everything that I might want to take on one of these journeys. And of course I've done lots and lots of these trips out, and so I know roughly what I'm wanting to take. And so yeah, all listed down to every minute detail of each individual little item of camera equipment. So the next column that I've created, I've labelled as required. And so what I'll do is I'll then go through this list, simply ticking off the items that I know on this particular trip I'm wanting to take, because obviously this is a list of everything I've kind of own in a sense, and I don't want to be taking everything every time. And so I'll go through ticking the required list. Then I've got the next column on that after that is called prepared. And what that's basically about is there are pieces of equipment such as batteries that need charging, hard drives that need formatting, and so on. And so what I'm doing is 2 things really in this column. It's the first is that I've got that piece of equipment and I've put it into one of its main bags or boxes, but also that I've gone through and I've made sure that it's fully prepared to be used. And that's has saved me many times, because you don't want to get out into the field and find that your batteries are flat, or that your cards are full of data that you've not taken off, and you don't want to write over that data. There could be images and things, and so having a checklist like this makes sure completely that I'm ready to go. And then the 4th and final list I've labelled as loaded. Now there's been many occasions over the years where I've actually prepared some equipment, put it into a bag, and then left it on the side, and forgot to actually load it into the van. And so that's what that column is all about. I tick it literally as I take the bag, put it into the van, knowing that everything that's ticked off is in that bag through the prepared column, and then now I know it's actually into the car. Now that may seem a little sort of over the top and perhaps childish in some way, but no, believe me, it works. There's nothing worse than spending hundreds of pounds, you know, in hotel bills and fuel, getting out to some location and finding you forgot a simple lead that then shuts your filming down, or, you know, that sort of thing. So that is invaluable. Okay, so let's get on to the actual grab bag. So it's a backpack, and I essentially use this for all my personal sort of belongings, grooming, personal grooming and things like that. So we've got a couple of towels in here, and I've also got a bag with pretty much every USB cable that I might wish to have. You know, essentially all of the different varieties of USB are in here, and as well as a power brick, so I can actually plug it into the mains, and I've got USB-C and USB-A to be able to charge devices and so on. Now I keep all of these items in waterproof bags. Simply makes it really simple. The hard wearing, you know, simple to keep everything together, the hard wearing, and also it means that I've got a bag that if I need some to you know, for some other purpose, then I've got a bag to be able to use. So USB-C, so we've got things like toothpaste and toothbrush. Now for years I used to go into the house, go into the bathroom, take out the toothbrush, toothpaste, and then take that with me. And eventually I got fed up with doing that, because if something happened to it, then it affected me when I got back home, because then I hadn't got, you know, things at home. And so what I've done is I've sort of duplicated things like that. So it's the same with, I've got a bag for, there's a shower gel, sponge, again in waterproof bags, meaning that once I've used them, it doesn't get everything else wet in the bag. And but same again, I've got shower gel in the house. I don't have to go hunting for that and taking it out the house. It's already doubled up and ready to go in there. I also have things like tea and coffee. Quite often when you get to a hotel, they just don't have enough, but quite often when I get to the hotel, I'll actually restock this. But yeah, enables me to have a cup of coffee when I want one. And then I've got you know, a larger bag like this. Again, this can double up for other reasons, but in here I've just got things like my shaver, a sewing kit, because, you know, you never know when something needs repairing, and cans of spray for cleaning glasses and things like that. Then I have spare glasses and things like tweezers, nails, nail clippers and things like that. And I say I keep them all in this large bag. And same again, as I say, it's all duplicated. And then a couple of spare carrier bags for rubbish and things. Then we've got head torch and hand torch, glasses cleaning cloths or lens cleaning cloths, and then roll of toilet tissue, which I don't really need to go into that. And so there I have a bag that I can simply pick up, throw straight into the van, knowing that everything I need is ready to go. So we're now going to move on to the computer side. So at the end of each day, there are two very important things we tend to try and do the first thing as soon as we get back to the hotel, and that is to put the batteries onto recharge and then transfer all of the data from the camera cards onto hard drives. And so I've got my computer bag. I've got a sort of an Apple laptop. I also have the iPad that I'll keep in here, and then I've got some hard drives. Now I tend to use these lacy drives with the orange protective cover, I do tend to find them quite durable. These, I've got 2 of these, so these are 4 terabytes each, and then I've got another couple of hard drives. One's 4 terabyte and one's 1 terabyte. So generally speaking, I don't make massive multiple copies of everything that I've recorded in one day. But what I will do is, if there is some important shots, like for example when I was filming at Donanook and managed to film the seal mother giving birth, then that clip I made multiple copies. In fact, I put a copy on every drive, and that way if one drive fails, then I'm not going to be in tears. And also in here I've also got all the USB-C cables that I might need to have for the data side, for all my cameras, and you know, SD card readers, things like that. I've got there's a couple of SD card readers in here in case one fails, and then I've got sort of micro SD card adapters to normal SD. And I do tend to try and keep things together, so I say that's my computer bag. And then of course there's the other thing that I mentioned is battery charging. And so what I've got there is I've got a hard box that in here I've got all the relevant battery chargers that I'm going to need, so I know what batteries I'm actually taking out with me tomorrow, and so I've got the relevant battery chargers in here. I've also got a couple of boxes of spare AA batteries and AAA batteries, and also I'll keep my charged batteries in here as well for the cameras. Sometimes I'll put these actually into the camera bags, but you know, I always go through the tick list to make sure that I'm taking it out and not thinking that I've put it in the bag and, you know, I've left it somewhere else. And so I tend to have this box for batteries. And of course you want to try and keep things as portable as possible in the, you know, lifting things into the hotels and so on. You want to make it as easy as you can on yourself with that. And so that is the batteries and the computer. So the last thing that I'm really going to go over is what I call my grips box. So the grips box, again, I've got a hard plastic box that I tend to try and keep everything in all together in just one box. And so there's 3 essential things that I'm doing with this box. I'm providing equipment that I can use to repair something, to clean something, and then to secure something. And over the years I've come across various occasions when I've thought, oh, I wish I had one of those. And so when I get home, I'll then go and source one of those things and then put it into the box. I have the attitude that if I've needed it once, then it's quite likely I'm going to need it again. And so I say what I've got in here is a multiple set of tools. We've got small screwdrivers and different heads and fittings. I've got larger tools in here, saw, hacksaw and pliers and things like that. So again, like I say, multiple boxes to be able to do most jobs on the equipment that I'm actually taking out. And I've got things like a soldering iron. I've even got a small drill and sander unit for cleaning things, and you know, if there's a job to be done, then hopefully I've got the tool to be able to do it. So again, soldering iron, that's just, you know, if a cable breaks, then I can make a repair. I've also got in here other tools such as a saw, so if I need to cut a tree, for example, you know, and I have had many occasions where I've needed to cut branches and so on, so I've got that. in there. I've also got a small shovel, one of these sort of foldable army type shovels. Again, that can be useful for burying cables or things like that, or digging. You know, if you've got a reason for a hole, then you've got a shovel. And a couple of clamps, you know, just to, again, to be able to secure things. I've also got a pack of tie wraps and a bag of different rope and string, and then I've also got, again, to maintain equipment, greases and oils. And then I've also got a bag, and there's multiple rolls of different variances of tape, either for marking something or for securing something. So again, plenty of rolls of tape and plastic bags, and so that's, so, you know, so mainly repairing something or securing something. But now moving on to the cleaning. Now, keeping the sensor and our lenses clean is an absolute must. And I have this device, which is it's the Visible Dust Arctic Butterfly. So what this little device is it has two functions. So the first function is, if I press the switch, I get two LEDs, and so I'm able to look into the sort of lens mount compartment, looking at my sensor to see whether there's any dust in there that I need to deal with. And then the second function of this is, if you switch the switch the other way, what it does is it spins this little brush up at high speed, and that is statically charging those fibers, those brush fibers. And then what you're able to do then is go into the camera sensor, touch the dust, which will stick to the fibers, come out, and then simply fling them off, and then get in that way. Make sure you keep this you know, extremely clean, so it's always kept clean and in there. And I've also got, again, for sensor cleaning, different sort of brushes, these sort of chemical wipe brushes with the little vials of cleaning fluid. And generally speaking, if it's, you know, you don't really want to be going in there with fluids too often at all. So I have got the option if I desperately need it, but most issues are dealt with the brush there. And then of course I've got other lens cleaning cloths and things like that in just little pouches and so on. And then the last thing I'm just going to mention really is I've got a blower. So it's a battery powered, very high speed air blower, and that allows me to blow dust out of areas I can't actually get in with anything else, or I'm able to use it to dry, say, my microphone dead cats or things like that. So it has come in handy a few times actually. So that's basically the grips box, and of course there's going to be bags of clothes and food and things like that, but essentially when it comes to the camera gear, this is what I'm taking out as extra gear on trips. Well, I hope that helps somebody, and please feel free to subscribe and hit the like button if you've enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching, all the best to you, and bye for now.